In the cold beauty of a winter's morning, man once more is taking flight. But this time in a machine so light, it's like no machine at all.
And this is a completely different way to fly because it's so gentle. You can get up quite slowly with it because it doesn't tear through the air. It only flies at 60 kilometres an hour, so it's quite a gentle flyer. But the exhilaration and the adrenaline that you get from flying it is just amazing.
It looks like a go-kart on strings, but flies like a feather. It's called an Aerochute, and Steve Conti of Aerochute Industries is the first man in Australia to manufacture and sell them.
You could probably like it to flying in an armchair, you know, just a reclining armchair. You just sort of sit around. Because the parachute's above you and open and you're hanging underneath like a pendulum, any knocks of the wind or turbulence moves the parachute, but it makes it quite stable underneath.
We've all heard about the safety record of ultralight, so just how safe is this one?
Well, basically, it's a very safe machine because what you've got is you lay a parachute down on the ground behind you, the backwash of the motor fills it up, lifts it, and it's open before you even get off the ground. So then as you're flying, if you did happen to have an engine failure, well, you just float it down and you pull down on both sides of your cords like a normal parachute and just land it.
I guess it's idiot-proof.
Well, as long as you don't hit a tree or a fence, you're fine.
Okay, Steve, I've got my Biggles jacket, thermonuclear aviator gloves, so what's next?
Okay, well, first of all, we make sure that the chute's open correctly, so just grab the corner there.
Right.
And just bring it out to the side.
So like this?
That's it.
Yeah. Lay it down like this?
That's right. We just make sure all our cells are nice and open, and then once that's set up, we can go over to the machine.
Okay, so across to the cockpit, or is this the air pit? I mean, what's the technological term here?
Well, we'd call it a cockpit because there's both of us going to be sitting in there. Yeah. That's where the controls are. So once we get to here, we check our lines.
Mm-hmm.
We lift our lines up, make sure that none of the lines are tangled.
Right.
And then we check the other side as well. And then we can strap ourselves in, and we're ready to go.
Okay, now I guess for the novice, the first question is, I mean, this really is a parachute that will save you should the engine suddenly go...
That's right. Yeah, well, basically, we're a powered parachute. It's a normal parachute, but it's a lot bigger than a normal jumping parachute, and so it's open before you get off the ground.
You've got no idea how much better that makes me feel.
That's good.
Let's go. All right. Wow. Amazing. It's spectacular. It's quite deceiving. I think you're coming down like, you know, like almost vertically. Okay, keep those legs up. You know, it really, I mean, what it is it gives anyone a chance to get up there, right? Even someone as technically, aerobatically inept as I am can get up on one of these things. I mean, how long do you think before I could fly one of these?
Well, usually it takes only 3 to 5 hours before you get a novice up the solo stage.
So there's hope for me.
Yeah, not a problem.
Mate, it's absolutely sensational. It really is. It's the best thing I've done with pants on for years. You've sold about 30 so far. What kind of people are buying them?
Well, there's quite a variety of people who've bought them around Australia. I mean, we've had one guy who's a gold prospector, and he's using it to sort of fly into different areas to get to where he can't get to in the car. And then there's a few farmers who use it for mustering their sheep and their cattle. And then there's a guy who uses it for pig shooting, and he actually just talks to the guys on the ground with their radio mics and tells them where the pigs are. And then there's the majority of people who are using them just for leisure.
So what's the next step with ultralights? I mean, can these things get any lighter?
Than this? I'm not sure. I mean, this is, without putting a motor strap to your back, this is about the closest you get.
Icarus. celebrated for his tragic infatuation with flight, would be green with envy. It was his waxen wings that brought about his undoing, destroyed by the same sun, now providing the backdrop for the common man's voyage to the air. We've all heard about gyrocopters, ultralights and hang gliders, but now step right up and meet the simplest, safest, most economical way to fly, the Aerochute.
Got a lot of property owners who use it for mustering their cattle and checking out their properties and things, but most of the people who get involved are just people who've always wanted to fly, and they want something that's safe and it's a good leisure sport.
Stephen Conti has dared to be different. His company Aerochute Industries has married propeller to parachute, and now we all get to go on the honeymoon.
I can't believe the producers have made me do this. I'm risking my life for sports tonight. Well, if you thought flying an aircraft took years of training, you were wrong. Because with an Aerochute, all you do is grab the toggles, put your foot in the throttle, and you're away! Well, Steve, I'm absolutely wrapped. Where do I get one, and how long does it take me to learn how to fly it?
3 to 6 hours to get to solo, and then 20 hours for a full license under supervision.
Well, I was going to buy a new car, but now I'm going to buy an Aerochute.
One waving his arms, and welcome to the show. Now tonight I'm going for a bit of a fly around in an Aerochute, which as far as I can tell is one of the safest ways to get around the sky unless you're a bird. And if I'm a very good and very nice person, my instructor Stephen, he's even going to let me have a fly, which I think is fantastic. Fly like a bird. You too can fly like a bird at Werribee, just 30 minutes out of Melbourne. This flying machine is actually a finely tuned, state-of-the-art contraption called an Aerochute. It was designed and manufactured by Stephen Conti. Love these. Can I talk to you and you hear me?
Yeah, we'll be able to talk to each other.
And as this is an introductory flight, there are a few safety checks to run through before we get airborne.
On the takeoff, just make sure your feet are away from the throttle there.
This is where, let's get so serious.
And just keep your hands to the side.
To yourself, I thought you were going to say.
And we'll grab our toggles. And then when we're ready, we can call clear prop.
Clear prop. The Aerochute is kind of like an aerial motorbike. Stephen got the idea from a single-seater flying machine he saw in the UK, and he designed his own dual version in '92. Since then, he's been building Aerochutes and training people to fly them. Top speed is 70 k's an hour, but you don't feel as though you're going that fast.